Get out of my pub! Alright, I'm Craig and this is Diary of an Angry Scottish Golfer. This is a weekly YouTube video series that I do that just tracks my progress, trying to get better at golf, trying to get down to a scratch handicap. If you are new to this YouTube channel and you enjoy golf YouTube content, things like this video, please consider subscribing because that would be really nice. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers and I'm able to monetize this YouTube channel, every single penny that is made through the advertising revenue on this channel will be donated to a rescue dog charity called All Spain Rescue Dogs. So basically, if you watch this channel, you're essentially doing your bit for charity, so it's really nice. Anyway, what's today's video about? So, to put a bit of context behind this, during the week, I shot 69 for the first time in a long time. A couple of years since I've broken 70 around here, or anywhere. I was kind of amazed at myself at how defensive I was over the last few holes and how much my mindset was, I just want this to be over. I wasn't very attacking, even over like 10-foot putts. Well, for example, I had a 12-footer on the last for birdie, and I pretty much lagged it. Like, I didn't really have a go at it. I was more thinking, don't 3-putt, as opposed to quality, try and hold this and shoot 68. And it got me thinking, whenever you're on a score, I've shat the bed a few times. Like, I know a few people have, if you've, pretty much everyone has. I don't think, like, look at McIlroy at the Masters in 2011. Like, when you're not in these situations often, it's difficult to deal with them. I'm lucky in that I've got a couple of mates that are good golfers and regularly shoot under par. One thing that they always say is, you just get used to it. The more you're in that situation, the more you get used to it. Obviously, it's very hard to get into that situation because, like, you have to play well, and there's not really a way of guaranteeing that. So what I'm out here to do tonight is something that I've done once or twice before in the build up to a big competition that I felt like I needed to get a bit of confidence for. I'm gonna play a few holes off the very front of the tees. So like not the ladies' tees, not the general play tees, like the very, very front, the absolute front of the tees. And that's going to shorten every hole, and it's hopefully going to give me more opportunities. Like, the holes are going to be shorter, they're going to play easier, like that just has to happen. So I'm hoping that as a result, I'll get more chances for birdie. So I'm going to try and be a bit more aggressive tonight and shoot for as many birdies as I can. So. Oh, I just hit the downslope. That can't have been far away from being a really good shot. Annoying. Annoying. Oh, just burned the edge. Right, level par. Usually, you tee off back there, off the whites. There's the ladies' tees. There's the general play tees. And this is where we're gonna tee off. From this little blue stake, whatever that means. I don't know, never been this far forward before. So like one of the things that Peter said on my lesson was, if I was to give you 5 birdies tomorrow in the medal or whatever, you'd be quite confident that shooting under par. But if you only get 1 or 2, it's quite hard to stay under par. I mean, that totally makes sense. Because what I'm essentially doing is trying not to make bogeys as opposed to trying to make birdies. So try to be a bit more aggressive, right? Come on, lovely jubbly. Or a massive, massive block, like a huge block. Huge block. Right, well that's awful. That was god awful. So that's good. If I tee off at the very front of these tees, I end up shooting millions. I'd be so pissed off. I'm pissed off anyway. Angry Scottish golfer, meow. Well, that's not good. 132 yards, sitting absolutely horrific. The rough is getting up here a wee bit. Gonna try and bump and run something. Usually I'd hit like a 7-iron to keep it low, but because it's on a downslope anyway, that's gonna handle the low for me. So I'm gonna just try and get on top of it a bit more, stand a bit closer to it. Get the handle up so it comes out lower. Did a hard go for days. Go for days, that's never up. Oh no, it is. Keep going. Christ, that was a hard shot. Not bad, it's ended up all right. That right edge, it broke off the left. Couldn't he read a book, mate? Someone asked me during the week, oh, what's the video going to be this weekend? And I don't ever really know. Like I plan them to the degree of, I think, what went wrong this week and go make a video on it basically, or what went right and go make a video on it. So I don't really ever know. So if you watch these and you're like, oh, I'd quite like to see him do a video on that, like just say in the comments or whatever. No one ever comments on the videos. I watch others, like a guy from Glasgow that does these videos. Andy plays golf. The stuff's quite funny, by the way, so like, if you like my videos, you should watch his, because he's pretty funny. Aye, and all his videos, everybody comments, and I'm like, oh, no one comments on mine. No. This is basically a par 3, to be honest. But we're playing it as a par 4, to try and build our confidence. Confidence! Confidence! Ooh. Ooh, I'll talk about Sevi in a minute. That little terrorist. Middle of the green, there's that big tree. Aim at that. Just left of Mr. Russell Crowe over there. A bit hooky, very hooky. Sit. That's going to be fairly tricky up and down. Like I said, the inspiration behind this was when I was playing that competition, I was genuinely surprised at how nervous I was in a silly little medal shooting 69. I mean, it's a good score, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a course record. And everyone's been there, regardless of what your handicap is. Everyone's experienced nerves to some degree. But I just thought, right, how do I overcome that? Everyone says the more you're in the situation, the better you'll cope with it. So you just got to keep getting in the situation. But obviously it's hard. This makes it a bit easier because it makes the holes easier. This isn't the easiest, I'll tell thee. So I need to land this. Very much top tier. Sitting all right. Well, quite thick rough, so you kind of have to have a bit of speed, which makes it hard. So I'm going to try and do something. Try and hit it a bit higher and a bit softer. Going to open the face on the way back, cast the hands on the way through. That one felt really nice, so just try and do that again. It's about as good as I can do. Catch the slope, break, break, set, set, set. That looks good. Not bad at all. My little inner demons over these shots, like I say, trying not to play bad as opposed to trying to play good. My little inner demons go, oh my God, don't miss that. Don't yip that. That's pretty close. Birdie. Right, we're off. One under. We're off to the races, lads. We're off to the races. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. So this hole, I'm not sure how long it is usually, but like that's a good kind of 40-ish, 50 yards shorter than normal maybe. So it's a par 4 that's now playing less than like 320, 330 yards. So I should be able to get this quite close. See, that's what I need to be, more attacking mindset. Come on, get this quite close, hit a good one. Hit a good one, son. Or pull the life out it. Should carry everything from this tee. Swing feels like a fucking bag of ties. Sit, sit, sit. I don't know why I ever put the camera there, because it always rolls out of camera. Like it always rolls past out of your vision, and then I just look like a tit. Push it. Oh, push that. Remains one under. The thing, like, I'm teeing off so far forward in the tees that they're like sloping downhill. Teeing up like that. Oh, nailed that. That's miles up. Good. One of the reasons for doing this was because of how I felt during the medal. Another one of the reasons is there's a couple of lads locally who I know who are having a crack at it on the Euro Pro Tour, so like good for them. Like hopefully they do well and stuff. And if you don't know, I'm pretty sure anyone who watches this will be well aware, but if you imagine, I personally don't think this, but a lot of people see the PGA Tour as the elite of the elite. Like if you're on the PGA Tour, that's the best players in the world. Personally, my opinion is PGA Tour and European Tour have equal level of players. But for some reason, well not for some reason, there's more money on the PGA Tour, and for that reason it tends to be the case that big name players will play on the PGA Tour just because it's where the money is, I guess. PGA Tour and European Tour, they're top levels. It's where like Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, these kind of guys play. One level down from that is Challenge Tour. On the European side anyway. One level down from the European Tour is the Challenge Tour. So that's where guys who are trying to get a card on the European Tour will go. And one level down from the Challenge Tour is a tour called the Euro Pro Tour, which is where guys who are trying to make it on the Challenge Tour and then eventually make it onto the European Tour. Some notable names of guys who've done that: Louis Oosthuizen, Tyrrell Hatton. Both these guys competed and won on the Euro Pro Tour, and now they're like, Louis Oosthuizen won the Open, so it's like proper players. So these lads locally are having a crack at it. So good for them, and hopefully they do well. The reason I mention it is because they're from here, from local, and kind of know them, been watching and seeing how they get on. And the event that they played in was the first one. The cut was 5 under par, first of all, so obviously it's a good standard. And the guy that won it, I think they finished maybe 16, 17 under or something. But one guy shot 11 under par, so he shot 61 around a par 72 golf course, and he had 8 birdies in a row. And I remember it was like maybe the same day that I shot 69 here and was nervous over 69. I remember thinking, I just cannot fathom. Once I'd had like 4 birdies in a row, I'd be like, right, okay, just don't fuck up. But this boy's like, he had 8 birdies in a row. I think he had then 2 pars, then he finished with 3 birdies or something. It's like, Jesus Christ, how do you have that gear? Like, how do people have that? Keep going, keep going, keep going, more, attack, attack, attack. Personally, I'm just so scared to lose what I've already got that it makes you play bad sometimes. Try and press on, make another birdie. 96 yards in, uphill. Just a light kind of gap wedge in it. Let's be nice and aggressive, right back there. Still quite aggressive, go. Go, 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 go. It's up there, it's maybe a wee bit short, but it's an aggressive swing. Not bad. It's just stopped after the bounce, so. Good read. Beautiful. 2 under. Oh yeah, I said I'd talk a wee bit about Sevi. So obviously, if you watch this channel for any length of time, you'll be aware I was in the process of getting a rescue dog. And yeah, he arrived. He arrived like a week ago or whatever, 2 weeks ago. It's been a very, very life-changing experience. I realise it's very silly to say. I mean, people have kids and that, and I'm just going on about having a dog, but I've been someone who's never had any responsibility his entire adult life. Never looked after anyone but myself. And I've mentioned a few times on this channel, I consider myself, or definitely consider myself, to be quite a selfish person. So now, getting up at 5 AM and walking a dog every day and prepping his meals and worrying about him and that, it's yeah, it's different, but he's good. He's doing well. He's definitely settling in. Anyway, put it that way. Right, enough about my dog. So we would usually tee off way back there. I mean, that's a good 60 yards, 70 yards maybe. Now I'm teeing off from down here, where, not to toot my own horn, but I can probably drive the screen from here. My brain just kind of kicked in there and was like, you could also drive it out of bounds, which is true, I could. From this tee, err on the side of caution tonight, I think, by aiming at the bunker on the left-hand side of the green. That gives us a big pile of room. And if it ends up in the green side bunker, it's not the end of the world. Ah, I've pushed it. That needs to get down. I'll get down. That might be out of bounds. That's exactly what I said not to do. Might get lucky. Might get lucky. Non me ne padre, Spirito Santo. Come on, buddy. Help me out here. Well, that's lucky. That was perhaps not the play. We'll drive off that tee. Not sitting amazing, but it's alright. It needs to run in. It just needs to run, so just kind of make it run a bit. Oh, it was a good for distance, but it bounced right. It's better if it bounced left, obviously. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Let's try and get to 3 under. 2 unders definitely nervy. I'd definitely be nervous 2 under. 3 under, that's where I'd be shiting. It's a wee bit much. Wee bit much and a wee bit aggressive. So that's my point, right? These are, I would start defending probably 2 under. I'd start defending it and being like, right, just lag it up, knock it close, lag it up. And I've said this before when I was when I just started this channel, that, and this sounds nuts, that I always would think like, if I don't take too much from the golf course won't take too much from me. It's almost like a protection thing, isn't it? Like, I'm almost scared of going really, really low because having that blow up when it just all goes Pete Tong. Like, I was 2 under par here on the 17th of the end of last year. Finished double bogey, and it's just gut wrenching. It's so hard to take. Pulled, oh, it's perfect. A big rope hook thing, but it's missed the bunker. It's like bouncing down the fucking road out the golf course. What else are we chatting about? Talked about my dog. Talked about the nervousness that I had during the scores. Oh, because I had a score. Wee cheeky handicap update for you lads. Got cut down to 1.6 now, so nearly off 1. Keep pushing to try and get to 1. I played a county competition yesterday and I double bogeyed the first with a snap hook drive that went into some water. But I managed to steady the ship. I went out in 6 over par, steadied the ship on the back nine, shot 2 under par on the back nine. So I shot 4 over par total. So I don't know how that'll finish in the standings, but it'd be nice to try and get some more points for the county stuff. And yeah, that was about it. Actually, well, I was never really sure about telling this story on the YouTube channel because it's quite a personal story. Toyed with the idea of saying it before because a couple of people have asked, inadvertently asked about it. They've not meant to, but a few people have asked about the tattoo that I have on my hand. Whoop. So if you can see that. So the tattoo is a diamond and it's watercolored with ruby, the color ruby across it. So the reason I'm toying with telling the story today is because it's my nana's birthday today. And my nana passed away in February last year, just before COVID went mental and everything. So in a way it was good because she was able to have like a proper send-off and everything, and that was really good. That's like what she would have wanted for sure. She would definitely would have wanted people to make a fuss. Hang on, I wanted to tell this story in one take, but I need to hit my shot. So we've knocked it up green high-ish. So that's on the top of a little slope. I don't want to go right of it, because then you're putting up the hill. I'd rather be, if anything, left of that. That's terrible. That is so bad. I called it short of it and right of it. It was absolutely shite. Oh, if you'd hit it. Bang on line 2. Just needed to hit. Here we have a wee par 3. Wee par 3, which is usually about, I don't know, 170 something, 160. And today it is 125 yards downhill, so it's maybe playing less than that. Well, it's maybe playing less than that, it's definitely playing less than that. That's how hills work. Get this one nice and close. That's terrible. That's embarrassingly bad. Front right bunker, that's embarrassingly bad. Set. It's just 1 bounce too far. It's like a curse. Ran out of the camera again. Try to keep it at 2 under. Par save, baby. Come on. That's a tough one to take. That's annoying. That is annoying. Right, okay. Bogey. Almost a lack of concentration off the tee shot, to be honest. Like, I just assumed that I'd knock it close. It's 125 yards. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not raging. It's fine. I'm raging. Anyway, I've started playing really bad there since I mentioned my grandma, so that's good. Right, so I'll try and, I'll tell the story. I'll hit this tee shot and then I'll tell the story. I'll try and tell it in a oneer because it makes more sense. Keep you guessing. Might help with audience retention, I suppose, but I gotta keep you guessing. It's like an EastEnders moment. Get out of my pub! I'm losing my mind. And off this front tee, yeah, I've put 2 iron past that bunker off that back tee. So, famous last words, this is definitely going in the bunker. Got all that bunker. Get over it. It's got to be over it, surely, from this tee. I mean, I think it's over it. Is it over it? T-shirt's away. I think it's over it. It looks like it's over it. So, plenty of time to tell a story about my grandma, right? So, the story behind my tattoo, the reason I'm telling it today, because if I'm ever going to tell it, I might as well be today. Because I like to be quite honest with you guys on this channel, because it's quite a nice little outlet for me. It's basically therapy for free, so it's nice. So like I said, I'd considered telling it before, but I don't know, it didn't really feel right. But today it's my grandma's birthday. I talk about what I'm thinking about, and obviously she's always in my thoughts, but more so today. So what's the reason behind the tattoo? So my grandma passed away in February last year. After she passed away, we went back to her house to begin to sort out her affairs or whatever. And she left a letter to us, to everyone, and then one to me, which contained I guess like a little school project thing that I did when I was a kid. It was, I don't know, maybe when I was like 5 or 6 or something. I basically I had written a thing about my grandma, about her life. Like it was like said she was born, where she was born, where she grew up, what she did for a job, what her hobbies were and everything. It was, and in her letter she said she would like it to be read at her funeral. She wanted me to be the last person to speak at her funeral, and she wanted me to read this that I'd written when I was 5 years old. Me and my nana were really close, very, very close. And obviously, I mean, you can't say no to that, can you? Like, you can't just, you can't say, I'm not fucking doing that. So I was like, all right, I'm not crying, you're crying. I was like, right, okay, gotta do it. But when I started reading it, I was like, fucking hell. It's amazing, she'd kept that for, I don't know, the best part of 23 years or something, she kept that. So it's like, you've kind of got to do it. So I started reviewing it and I was like, I can't read this verbatim because it's like a child had written it. Because a child had written it. I'm gonna have to do, redo the version of it, as it were. So I did, and I did my best, managed to do it. And the last thing I said, so the last thing anybody said at the funeral was me, and the last thing I said was, because my grandma's name was Ruby, I said to everybody here today, my grandma was a ruby, but to me, she was a diamond. So my tattoo is a diamond on my hand, watercolored ruby. So that's what it means. That's what it means to me. And the reason that it's on my left hand is I with my right hand. So it's very hard to maintain an erection whilst you're thinking about the story that I just told you. But no, I mean, that's a bit of lightheartedness at the end, because otherwise this is a very morbid story. Anyway, golf shot. Right, so we got over the bunker. We got over the bunker! 114 yards. 114 yards, a little bit colder now. It's a good number for a gap wedge to just go at it. I could get it there, as Peter. I always think of what would WWPD, what would Peter do? What would Peter do whenever I'm playing golf? And I remember him saying I could get a gap wedge there, but what's the point? Just hit a chippy pitching wedge. So I was working on this shot the other day. So it's 115 yards, so I can be reasonably aggressive with it. It's close together, down the grip, and almost just a normal swing, really. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. That's short. Go. It's not bad actually, pin high. We got it up there, just outside the right hand side of the hole, and trust it. Yeah! So yeah, we finished 2 under par through 9 holes, had 3 birdies, 1 bogey because of a lapse of concentration. But yeah, it just, this little game, try and get the eye in for being a wee bit more aggressive and trying to have a low score as opposed to trying not to have a high score. So I think it's quite a fun little game, especially if you're not playing very well. Makes it a bit easier. Eh? As always, thank you very much for watching these videos. If you've watched these videos, I'd massively appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. I hate doing this because 9 times out of 10 no one comments and you feel like a tit, but if you comment down below what's the most number of birdies you've had in one round of golf, I'll give you a shout out in the next video. Like I'll put your name up in that and be like, oh, Phil McCracken's, like he's had 12 birdies in a round, eh, good lad. I'm probably going to move the videos to Wednesdays. I'm probably going to change from Tuesdays at 6 PM to Wednesdays at 6 PM because sometimes it's a faff editing over my weekends and it's a pain in the arse. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a lovely week.